Twist-ending mystery, the last clue was me. They say memory is a funny thing. That it plays tricks, turns facts into dreams, and dreams into facts. But what they don't tell you is this: sometimes, it hides you from yourself. The rain had started just as I turned off Route 9, tires sloshing through puddles like an omen. I pulled up to the Wexley estate, the old mansion looming through the mist like a memory I hadn't meant to dig up. Inside, the place smelled of old money and something underneath, something rotten. The butler, Graves, yes, really, led me through winding corridors that whispered secrets with every creak of the floorboards. "Miss Wexley is in the study," he said, in a voice like dust. Marianne Wexley. The name was carved into headlines across a dozen tabloids 10 years ago. Heiress. Recluse. Possible murderer. And now, client. She looked up from her chair like she'd been expecting me since 1992. A tall woman, not frail, but transparent, like her bones had gotten tired of carrying secrets. "They said you're the best," she said, not rising. "I'm good at finding the truth," I replied. "Doesn't always make me friends." "I don't need a friend. I need an answer." Her brother, Henry Wexley, was found dead in the library 6 days ago. Locked room, single gunshot to the head, no weapon in sight. The police called it suicide at first, until the coroner noticed the angle of the shot didn't make sense. Then they changed their tune to accident. But Marianne wasn't buying it. "He was scared," she said, handing me a worn leather notebook. "Said someone was watching him. That the past was coming back." The pages were erratic, scrawled in half-mad handwriting. Mentions of a key. A name crossed out again and again. A symbol he called the Watcher's Eye. "This house," she whispered, "it remembers everything. But it doesn't speak." I nodded, pretending I wasn't already unsettled. The investigation led me through the dusty veins of the Wexley mansion. Each room was a ghost in waiting. Each hallway a thread tied to the past. And then there were the others. Thomas, the caretaker. Skin like weathered bark and a stare that lingered too long. Lila, Henry's ex-wife, still living in the guest house like a storm cloud waiting to break. Dr. Helbridge, the family therapist, who claimed he was only there to help them grieve, but who always seemed to be hiding something behind that polite smile. Everyone had a motive. Everyone had a secret. But the clues didn't line up. Not until I found the tape. It was buried behind a false panel in the study wall. Dust-covered, unlabeled. I played it on an old camcorder I found in the attic. Henry's voice. Breathy, panicked. "If you're hearing this, I didn't kill myself. Someone's trying to silence me. They know I found the truth. It's buried in the old cellar, behind the painting. Please, if anyone's listening, find the last clue." I went there that night. The cellar was colder than it should have been. A world beneath a world. The painting was a hideous thing, black and red swirls that seemed to move when you blinked. Behind it, a lockbox. Inside the box? A file. Photographs. Newspaper clippings. DNA results. A truth so twisted it cracked the world sideways. Marianne Wexley was not Henry's sister. She was his mother. The father? A man with a long criminal history. A man who had vanished when Henry was 6. And there, tucked in the file, was a picture of a child in a yellow raincoat. Me. That's when it started to unravel. My memories of foster homes, strange transitions, the way Marianne had always looked at me when I first arrived. The letters from a sponsor that funded my early detective work. The anonymous packages, tips that cracked open my first few cases. The instincts I'd always had about how criminals thought, how secrets worked. They weren't instincts. They were echoes. I wasn't just the detective on this case. I was the key. I confronted Marianne the next morning. She was already seated, calm, as though she'd known this was coming. "You were adopted," she said, before I could speak. "After your father vanished." Henry thought you were his cousin. But you were his half-brother. I tried to protect you. You funded my life like a ghost benefactor. You pointed me here. Because someone in this house killed Henry. And I knew you were the only one who could find them. You see through lies, don't you? Even your own. My head swam. Who was it? I asked. She smiled. Sadly. You tell me. I went back to the file. And there it was, another photo I had missed. A blurry shot of Thomas, the caretaker, arguing with Henry in the garden. A photo timestamped a day before Henry died. I confronted him. He didn't deny it. He found out, Thomas said, that I was paid by your father all those years ago. To keep tabs on the family. He thought I was spying on him. Maybe I was. He threatened to expose everything. So you killed him. He wasn't going to let it go. He said he'd ruin everything. Marianne. You. Everything. The police came for him the next morning. And just like that, the house fell quiet again. I stood in the library where Henry died. Where it all began. Then I noticed it, a mirror, cracked slightly in the corner. And a small message scrawled on the frame. He's not the only one who's been watching. I froze. The handwriting was mine. But I never wrote it. Or at least, I don't remember doing it. It hit me all at once. The final twist in the spiral. The voices Henry heard. The fear. The paranoia. The false memories. What if it wasn't paranoia? What if it was inherited? What if it wasn't just Thomas keeping secrets? What if I had been the last clue all along? Not the solver of the mystery. The source of it. The end. Or maybe, the beginning.